Good evening. Welcome to Vibin with Ashley Live. I'm your host, Ashley Live, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend. Tonight we have a really incredible show. We have Jerrod. Jerrod is a singer, songwriter, multi-instrumentalist. He plays piano, guitar, and drums. And he's also been featured on WanWednesdays by Wayna Morris from Boyz II Men. So that's probably why he looks familiar to you guys. So he's going to hop here in the room very shortly. And I appreciate you guys for joining us on Saturday. I see Sosie, Brandon's in the house, and really excited for you guys to get to know Jerrod. So every show, I start with a song lyric. Tonight, I'm going to use a song lyric from a Babyface song, and Babyface is an incredible, legendary songwriter, as you guys know. The song I'm going to use tonight is Whip Appeal. This song came out in 1990 and was also covered by Jerrod. He has an incredible rendition of Whip Appeal on his Instagram. So Jerrod actually just entered the room. Once he comes in the room, I'm going to share this song lyric with you guys. So whenever you're ready, Jerrod, come on in. Jerrod,
Hello.
how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much. So I'm actually pinning your Cash App. So guys, for those of you who just joined, we're going to put his Cash App in here. So feel free to donate to Jerrod anytime during this performance, interview, all this good stuff. So I actually start each show with a song lyric. Tonight, I was going to share Whip Appeal by Babyface, a song that you covered.
Yes. One of my favorites.
Yeah, it's an incredible song. And so because you actually popped in the room right as I was about to say it, I'm like, let me bring you in and we'll talk about your rendition as well. So here's the song lyrics from Whip Appeal. And no one does it like me, and no one but you has that kind of whip appeal on me. Keep on whipping on me, work it on me, whip all your sweet, sweet lovin' on me.
Classic.
Right?
Babyface is probably one of my favorite songwriters, artists, producers, arranger. I mean, whatever you want to call him at this point. But he is a legend just by name. So it's amazing.
Yeah. And when I heard you do that rendition of Whip Appeal, I'm like, who is this guy? He's coming on the show.
And honestly, you know, that was really just supposed to be like a demo. Because I'm going to do a full video with like the whole arrangements. I'm going to do the drums. I'm going to do the piano, the guitar, bass, even the saxophone. And then I'll do the vocals and sing over it. And I plan on posting the full arrangement, the full cover sometime soon. So be on the lookout for that.
Yes, very cool. So it's April and it's International Guitar Month. Who is a guitarist who inspires you?
That's it's a great question because honestly, I was gonna bring that up anyway.
Yeah.
I have a story about all the instruments that I play, but honestly, I didn't start playing the guitar seriously until I got to high school. But John Mayer was my favorite guitarist at that time, and pretty much still is. And the very first time I heard Gravity, I was at my school, and my friends asked me, "Hey, can you play drums?" Our drummer dropped out at the last minute, so they were like, "Hey, can you play drums for this song?" And I was like, "Oh, sure. What's the song?" And they were like, "It's really easy. Just send it. I'll send it over to you." So I listened to it, and it was Gravity. I was like, "Who is this artist? I've never heard this." And they were like, "You don't know who John Mayer is?" I was like, no. So I started looking up his videos, and I instantly was captivated by his music, his voice, his style, and that's what made me want to started playing the guitar. So at that time, I didn't have one personally of my own. But what I did was I asked my mom, I was like, oh, John Mayer plays a Stratocaster. Can I get one?
Yeah.
She was like, I'm not going to buy you a guitar if you don't know how to play it. And I was like, no, I promise I'll play it. She was like, I'm not going to waste the money. And then we kind of went back and forth for a little bit. But she was like, okay, if you can learn 10 songs, I'll buy you one. We'll go to the store. You can pick out what you want.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. So just a few artists that I liked at that time. Jason Mraz was popular. Obviously, John Mayer. Sam Cooke is also someone that I listen to often. So just those three people, I would listen to those songs. Now, the thing people don't know about Sam Cooke is very unique in his style, but his songs are very similar. He very much has a style. So he'll have a song, change the words, but it'll be the same 4 chords. So what I did was I learned one song, and if you can learn that one song, then you can pretty much learn 5 other Sam Cooke songs. So I did that, and I believe the first song I ever played was "I'm Yours" by Jason Mraz.
Yeah.
I started playing with my mom, and she saw how much I had learned and how well I was playing. And then I started playing another song, and she said, you know what, you can just stop here. And we went to the store that day. She kept her promise, and we bought a guitar. So it was my very first Stratocaster. Came with an amp, a bag, a tuner, pretty much like the beginner pack for the guitar. And after that, it was history. Been playing ever since.
That's incredible. So, okay, I want to go back to something you said about 4 chords, right? You said like pretty much every song has 4 chords. So if you know those 4 chords, you can kind of play any song.
Absolutely.
Right? And I think that's so important because when I watch people play the guitar, especially somebody like John Mayer, like what? Like the videos of John Mayer playing the guitar, you're like, whoa, like it's just mind blown.
Absolutely.
Have you seen him live before?
Live, no. He actually came to Raleigh. And it was Where the Light Is tour. And he came, and I was supposed to go to the concert. But something happened. I think it was weather or something happened. I ended up not being able to make it. But I think it was the first time I was really upset about not being able to see him. But I watched videos and the stuff that he would do. Most people, it would be discouraging. But for me, it kind of motivated me to want to be that great. So I kind of like engrossed myself into guitar at that time, and it was the best thing.
Yeah. And I think when you say John Mayer, like for anybody who's seen John Mayer live or some of these like YouTube performances, you are completely mind blown. You're like, how can somebody do that with an instrument?
Absolutely.
What?
Absolutely.
Next level.
Literally. I mean, it's amazing what you take, the same instrument I'm playing. You can buy the same guitar, but it just won't sound the same. So,
exactly.
Phenomenal.
So let's go back to childhood. I know your love of music came from one of your biggest inspirations, your father. What did music mean to you at such a young age?
That was kind of the interesting part. It didn't necessarily have a meaning. It was just a way of life.
Yeah.
I grew up listening to music. Every day we incorporated music, wake up with music, go to sleep with music. When I was younger, I really couldn't sleep at night. So I played music, and music was pretty much like a necessity for me. So it was my entire family played instruments on both sides, my mom and my dad's side. My dad was in a band when he was younger, a gospel group. And then my mom's side, they just sang. So my aunt played the piano, my uncle played the drums, and my mom is a phenomenal singer. So it was on both sides. It was everywhere. So it was kind of inevitable for me to, if that's something I wanted to do, I had every avenue I could. So it was a way of life. I mean, it was like, you need air, you need water, and for me, I needed music. So that was it.
I love that. That's incredible. So you said you were having problems sleeping. Now, did you go to sleep with the music or did you just put it on and then you went to sleep?
I would put it on and fall asleep to the music, wake up in the middle of the night, CD still playing. I just dated myself, but tapes were still playing. But absolutely, I would play all night.
Yeah. Do
My
you
mom
still?
actually, she tried to change because I would be blasting like Michael Jackson at
Yeah.
the morning.
Yeah.
She was like, let's transition to something more calm, you know. So I got like some music that was really calming music. Like it sounded like you were at a beach, and then it would have some harps in the back. So yeah, that kind of did that. And then I also from there I transitioned to classical and
Mm-hmm.
jazz. So those were the two I would listen to. Definitely jazz at night, and then I would wake up and just play classical.
Mm-hmm.
So those were the two that I really, really would play all the time.
I love it. So do you still play music when you go to sleep?
Not as much, no. Just because typically at night I'm either in the studio or on Instagram Live
Mhm.
singing or dancing or doing whatever.
Yeah.
So now music is so paramount in my day to day. I don't need to sleep with it. I'm there all the time anyway. So
Awesome. Love that. So you're a multi, you sing, you play piano, guitar, drums. What is your favorite instrument to play and why?
I would say my favorite instrument to play at first was drums. I've been playing drums since I was 2 years old. So that was my first love. And then when I started playing the piano, that easily became my favorite instrument.
Hmm.
Just because of the possibilities. I mean, you could literally do whatever you wanted with it. And it's just a beautiful instrument in itself. So that's probably my favorite to play.
Hmm.
But I am at heart a drummer. That is what I do.
I love it. But I love that you play everything like drums, piano, guitar,
Yeah,
sing, like your own band.
basically, that people would say that you're a one man band. But yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Very cool. How would you describe the music that you create?
Um, very, for the most part, very intimate.
Hmm.
I always tell people, if you ever date or know or interact with an artist, you're gonna end up in music somehow. It sounds kind of invasive, but we kind of switch it to not make it so specific or personal. But sometimes you do. I mean, sometimes you know exactly who that person is talking about. But for me, it's really just about things that I can relate to. Um, Whatever I sing, write, play about, um, I've either gone through it or I've seen it, or it's very personal to me.
Right.
And I've noticed when I try to write about something I can't relate to, the feeling is not necessarily there.
Hmm.
So that is why I pick and choose what I write about, and it's very important. Um, but I can definitely say intimacy.
Yeah. And I think that's important because people hear music, they want to relate to it. So if you're singing something and it's like, oh yeah, your friend went through it, but you didn't go through it, it's like we can feel that emotion through the songs as well.
And it also makes it relatable to everyone. You don't want to write just from a male perspective. Sometimes I know there's plenty of artists like Neo, Babyface, another one,
Hmm.
who've written for women.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily just specific to the person, but it could be writing about someone else. Like, oh, I can see they're going through this,
Right.
um, and now women can relate to your music, and also vice versa. There's a lot of artists that only make like sexual music,
Hmm.
and then you have guys. It's like, oh, okay, this is kind of awkward, but um, just making music that everyone can relate to is kind of my goal. I try to strive for that.
Yeah. And that's so important because when you hear a song, you're like, oh my gosh, I feel it in my soul.
Absolutely.
Or it brings me back to that specific time when I was in 7th grade and I was in the car and I put the radio on and it was playing. And it's like you hear certain songs and you're like, I remember exactly where I was in that moment in time.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually just having a conversation the other day. I had a song on shuffle, or I was having my music on shuffle, and I heard Beautiful Soul, Jesse Mccartney. And I was like, wow, I was in 5th grade on the bus listening to this song. And it's amazing that music can bring back those type of emotions.
Yeah.
And I think, that's how I want my music to be. I want my music to be like Babyface, where in the 90s they were playing this song, came out in the 90s, and then in 2021 I'm doing a cover of it. So, that's music is timeless.
Yes, it truly is. Now, you brought up Jesse McCartney. I love Jesse McCartney. Did you see him on The Masked Singer?
I did not, but I knew he was on there. I haven't watched TV in a long time, and I kind of miss it, but then, and again, it's one of those things. Once you get comfortable without it, it's just like it's hard to get back into watching.
I know. Yeah. The thing is,
I didn't know he was on there.
Yes, he killed it. Like, I think he was. Okay, so are you familiar with the premise of The Masked Singer?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Yeah, so they have like all these random people on. Some people can sing and some people can't sing.
Yes.
Obviously, as you know, has an incredible voice. So he was there towards the end, and it was just amazing to hear this person sing and not know who they are. Yeah. And then himself, and it's Jesse.
Yeah, I remember the first time I saw that. I think it was a preview for the show.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I would love to audition for that, because for me, I get nervous, and I'm super shy when it comes to like doing music, which is crazy. But I was like, oh, I would love to put on a mask and sing so people don't know who I am. Right. So it would just make me feel so much more comfortable. Right. But then I realized it was like for celebrities and stuff. So I was like,
yeah, they've had some really interesting people on that show. Like, and I'm just, oh, that's an actor, and you're like, well, the actor's voice, but you don't. They sound like singing. Yeah. It was. And you can always tell. You can always tell if it's an actual professional singer because they kill it.
I want to say, was it Gladys Knight was on
there?
Yes. And the funny thing, when I kind of started popping in and out of the show, I heard it and I was like, that's Gladys Knight. And later on, we found out it was her. So I was like, it's kind of good. But then again, if you have such a distinct voice, I'm like, it kind of makes it a lot more difficult for you.
But people throw us off because they have like a lot of athletes that come on, and it's like, favorite athlete sing. Yeah.
And I think that's what makes it so much more interesting, because everyone heard Gladys Knight sing. But I would venture to say a lot of people haven't heard LeBron James sing. So
definitely not.
Yeah.
So you said something about being nervous about singing. Like, do you get stage fright all the time?
Every time.
Really?
Every time. So even when I go live, I kind of there are certain moments where I get nervous. Just because, I mean, in my mind, I know how music is supposed to sound. Right. And supposed to sound is kind of, relative. People have different styles. But I know what I want to sound like, and I'm a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to it. So it kind of makes me nervous when I'm like, all right, I need to hit this note, I need to hit this note, I need to do this right, I have to go to the bridge. So I think about all of those things, and sometimes it's a roadblock or a hindrance, but I get better and better. And just to throw a little in there with the WanWednesday thing, that was one of a growing experience for me, because you're in a competition with a whole bunch of singers. You have to bring your A game or you're going to get kicked out. And you're singing for the great Wayna Morris.
Exactly.
From Boyz II Men. So, that was, I mean, I'm sure we may talk about that a little bit later, but that in itself was kind of a mind-blowing experience for me. Because I grew up listening to his music.
Of course.
The very first song I wrote was inspired by a Boyz II Men song. So, it's amazing.
So cool. Song.
I'm sorry,
one dog or two?
Two. This is the issue. I have two.
He has 2 dogs. They're going crazy. Thanks, guys, for sticking with us. Who
Who else in this chat right now has dogs? Because I know dogs get crazy at awkward times of the day.
Absolutely. And this is one of them.
Oh my
Say
God.
hello to Breezy. Everyone, stop.
It's always the smallest dogs that have the biggest bark,
Makes
right?
the most noise. My bigger dog, his name is Trigger. He was in the room. You didn't even know he was in here. So
Really?
yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, I think he's cool now that you're holding him, right?
Yeah, he should be fun. So we'll have a little, I hope you don't mind, a little guest.
I'm fine with it. I've had people like I had somebody bring their baby onto the Instagram live. I'm like, hey, if you need to hold him, that's totally fine with me. Like anything goes, right?
Yeah. And I know it's like now they encourage people to allow their kids to be in Zoom calls since everyone's working from home. So it just shows a little, reality of what's really going on. But
of course,
this is my reality.
No, I'm all about it. I totally get it. So you've covered songs by Chris Brown, Sam Smith, Brian McKnight, countless other people. What is your favorite song to perform and why?
Well, currently Whip Appeal is the top of my list.
Yeah.
I've gotten a lot of feedback and positive reinforcement for that song. With You by Chris Brown. That was one of my favorite songs. And I always told myself when I first started singing, no matter where I am, who asked me, that'll be my go-to song. They're like, oh, do you sing? I'm like, yeah, I sing. And they're like, oh, let me hear something. Boom. With You, Chris Brown.
Yes.
So yeah, he was a major and a major impact on my musical career, which is kind of an understatement, but
yeah,
we may get into that a little bit later.
I love that. Another thing, you actually dance, and a lot of people didn't know this about you, right?
A lot of people still don't know it because it's not something I do often.
Yeah.
Publicly, at least.
Right.
People that know me in like a closed environment know I dance all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Yeah. I
love it though, because it's like when you said Chris Brown, like when I think of Chris Brown, yes, I think of like some of these songs, but I also think of his videos where he's dancing.
Yes, absolutely. That's actually when I started dancing. Like seriously, I started, I would watch all of his videos.
Yeah.
Just pretty much duplicate everything that I saw.
Mm-hmm.
The choreography, the way he sang it. I could easily say if he didn't exist, I wouldn't be where I am now. I'm not gonna say I wouldn't be an artist, but I would say it's the impact that he had definitely was a very major part of my life. So
I definitely think you should post more videos of you dancing, because if I could dance like you, I would post videos all the time.
Yeah. And people say that, and I'm actually I'm going to start doing that. Once I start putting out more music, I have a lot more music coming out.
Yeah.
More upbeat, more of like a go crazy type of vibe, if you know that song. So definitely you'll see more dancing videos, but that's going to be one of those things. It's a surprise. Like it's going to be, oh, I didn't know he danced like that type of thing. So
well, yeah, when I saw that video that you posted, I think it was like within the past week or something, I was like, not only can he sing and play all these instruments, but he can dance.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and if we're talking about the same video, that was a joke. But
oh, okay. Well, it was awesome.
Not to toot my own horn, but that was actually a joke. But yeah. I'm telling you, real soon, we'll see.
To be announced.
To be announced, absolutely.
Love it. So you mentioned this earlier, but what other musicians inspire you?
So top of the list, Chris Brown. So I have different groups of people. So I have my old school groups, Boyz II Men, The Temptations, Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder, Earth, Wind and Fire, Michael Jackson. And then I have like a newer group, like Beyonce. Just kind of may not be, maybe not someone that I would choose, but I've seen her live.
Yeah.
I've been to, I think 2 of her concerts, and she is absolutely flawless.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very critical of vocals and artists, professionals, but she is absolutely amazing. So she's someone I aspire to be like. Michael Jackson, definitely, just because he's holistically a great artist.
Of course.
And it you know, I always get more artists like Usher. He's amazing. I look to him for vocals. I look to Chris Brown for dancing and just performance.
Yeah.
And then I have like those Sam Cooke, those old school artists, as far as their writing. Because nowadays the music is great. I mean, it makes you feel good. But the lyrics aren't as intimate as it was in the older days. So those are the 3 people I look to: Chris Brown, Usher, and Sam Cooke.
I love it. And it's such a good mix of people because you just said a bunch of incredible song lyrics, songwriters. 2 of them are incredible dancers as well, Usher and Brown. Like, I remember those videos back in the day, like when Usher came out. I think, Usher was like 16 or 17 when he came out, right? Yeah. Like, young. And he still looks exactly the same. I'm like...
He has not aged a day.
I'm like, what is he doing?
Yeah, I know. So he was actually recently on Good Morning America, and he did like a whole performance, and some of the parts were a cappella.
Yeah.
And I was listening to his vocals, and I was like, man, this is exactly why Confessions was a major hit. This is why he is where he is today. Just still has it. So yeah, it was amazing.
Absolutely phenomenal performer, and I'm so happy he's had such a long career too.
Absolutely. It felt like he was kind of phasing out at one point.
Yeah.
But then he started connecting with Chris Brown. He started putting out his own new music. And I was like, no, he's back. He's back. So
yeah, he never left.
Never left. And that's the funny part. So
yes. So who would you like to collaborate with?
Oh man, I think about this all the time. So currently, my top one is Wayna Morris from just because I've had so much interaction with him recently.
Yeah.
So if he's watching, then that's a little insight. But Wayna, definitely Chris Brown, just because he's been such an impact on my career and just how I've done everything. I think we would collaborate and it would be a great project. Usher as well. I would be a little intimidated though to be on the track with Usher locally, but those are definitely the top 3. I know it's probably impossible to collaborate with Chris Brown at this level, but the more I do it, the more I push for that goal. So.
Yeah, and I think it's good to have big goals because the thing is, you just said Wayna Morris, and I think that's a very realistic thing for you.
Yeah,
I think that's very realistic for you. So people that don't know Jerrod, during quarantine, Wayna Morris from Boyz II Men launched a talent show called WanWednesdays. So he talked about this a little bit earlier in the chat, but how did you get involved with this show?
It's funny you asked that because I was just thinking about this maybe a week or 2 ago because I couldn't remember. But the way it all worked out was kind of, very prophetic because I believe someone that I follow, they were on his live.
Yeah.
And I think they were in the WanWednesday or they were just on his live for whatever reason. So I followed them and then I saw him and then I was like, oh, I would love to get in this just because, and his wife, Amber, she posted in the live, if you want to get into the competition, send a DM to her account and then we'll let you know. So I'm like, okay, once you have to DM someone and they're a celebrity, it's like, all right, let me get in line with other 1,000 people. So I sent a little video of just me singing. I don't even remember what it was, but I sent a video and then I got a message. I want to say like 15 to 30 minutes later, I totally forgot about it. I just kind of did it and just put it out into the atmosphere. But she sent me a message back and was like, all right, we'll add you next week. And I was like, oh, wow, okay, this is real now.
Yeah.
So that's where it started. And 4 months later, I mean, we're still in it.
I love that.
Yeah.
I wonder how many submissions she got and if she worked for all of them.
Well, I know for a fact it was like maybe 60 plus people in it.
Yeah.
It started. So I can imagine if you double that, or if not more.
I love that though, because like you saw someone, because I follow people that have also been on that show, and that's how I found out about it. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. But then like kind of like then you find other people that are involved with the show.
Yeah, Cooley, she just actually commented. She they are one of like the main people that keep it running. So she probably give you a better count on how many people were in it. But yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing how they run it. So professional, and they kind of keep it going. I mean, I know for me, it would be extremely difficult to try to manage so many great artists on one platform. So I think it's a great thing what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. So how has this experience shaped your music?
Honestly, I think it has definitely pushed me in the right direction as far as networking. Again, it's Wayna Morris. He knows everybody.
Right.
Or at least could get in contact with him. And he gave a lot of very positive and then also a constructive criticism on my performances.
Right.
So if you're not learning from the great, I mean, it's kind of like, who else can you get it from? So I think it's a great opportunity to get some feedback, and it also helped me get over the shyness of just not performing in front of people often. Right. And that kind of helped me with just that stage fright. But just that in itself, that can be a major downfall. If you can't sing in front of people or do what you love, I mean, you can't really produce anything that people are going to want to watch. So it helped me with that. So that in itself, it is definitely pushing me in the right direction.
Yeah. Amazing. So I think you should actually shoot your shot with them next time you're live. Honestly.
Yeah.
Just, hey, I did this interview the other day and the girl asked me who I wanted to work with, collab with, and I said you, and like, let's just make this happen.
Oh, absolutely. I've definitely already sent him DMs. I've actually spoken to him. I mean, he was, as far as I know, he was very fond of me. So he sent messages back. Amber's actually in the chat now. But she sent messages back and forth. So he definitely knows that I look forward to potentially working with him in the future. But we'll see what's going to happen. I mean, he's kind of hinted at some things, but I don't want to get too excited yet.
No, I get it. We're just manifesting it because I think sometimes
absolutely.
When you say things and you write things down, like it happens.
Absolutely. I've sent him several direct messages. So, well, no, who knows? Maybe in 2 months from now, I'll be going live and you see I'm in the studio with YA. So
Amazing. What artists or genres of music have you been listening to during?
A lot of R&B. Definitely a lot of R&B. Mm-hmm. That is what I listen to for the most part. Because that's what I grew up listening to and that's what I make. So I listen to that. But I've also branched out to new artists and just trying new things. You know, I ask people all the time, send me a list of songs you like or artists, and I'll take a listen to it. But I listen to everything pretty much. There was a guy, his name is Jason. He's in the competition as well. He does country music, and I have a country music singer, St. Louis, amazing vocalist. So I've been listening to his music. And then there was other artists in the WanWednesdays. They make music as well. So I've been listening to their music. So I've just been trying to broaden my genre of music. And yeah, it's a beautiful thing. I mean, it's great to hear so many different styles of music.
Right.
and the feeling is the same, you know.
Mhm.
So,
What song do you wish you wrote and why?
first song that came to mind was "I'll Make Love to You," just because everyone knows that song.
Right.
Everyone knows that song. I mean, you have people in Europe, people in Asia, people in North America. You have everyone from all walks of life.
Yeah.
They know Boyz II Men, "I'll Make Love to You."
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, that automatically is the impact that I strive for. Not just 100,000 or even to go gold. I'm trying to go double platinum, triple platinum. So that's kind of why I shoot for the major artist level. There's nothing wrong with smaller artists like Bryson Tiller or Summer Walker, or even like artists that don't do a lot but are amazing. Like Jasmine Sullivan just put out an album, and it's absolutely phenomenal. So I swing for the fence. So basically, when it comes to artists I look up to, just because I have so much room for growth.
Yeah.
And if you shoot for the top, then only way you can go is up. So
yeah. I love having big goals because it's like when you have big goals, yeah, you might come up a little bit short, but you're still on the road to get there.
Absolutely.
And that's so important because you don't want to like have a tiny goal because it's like, okay, I'm going to hit that maybe in like 2 weeks.
Yeah. And I think that was something I learned. I'm not easily discouraged, so I wanted to pick things that others wouldn't necessarily do. Just for example, in the WanWednesday competition, I was actually one of the people that they had to make a no-sing list. So I did a Boyz II Men song. I was like, oh, well, I'm singing for Wanye.
Yeah.
I'm going to go in or go home. So I went and tried to sing I'll Make Love to You. And it was okay, but when you sing an artist's song, the level of expectation is absolutely, it's basically impossible.
Yeah.
So, but that just kind of shows where my mind is and what I do. I'm willing to put myself out there to get better and to keep going. Even on the last week, I sang and danced. They mentioned that was a really bold move.
Yeah.
But that is what I do to get past certain stages. So that's just how it works for me.
Yeah. Bold moves and bold choices are so important because it's like everybody's just going to sing. Like, everyone's going to
Yeah.
like differentiate yourself from other people because you are up against these people.
Absolutely.
And they're like, oh gosh, remember that guy that danced for us? And people are like, yes, I remember him.
Absolutely. And that was one thing Wanye always mentioned that I really appreciated and was really honored. He always mentioned that I would be an entertainer. I'm an entertainer. He was like, this guy is an entertainer. Whenever you watch him, it's going to be a good time. And for me, that was kind of my goal, and just getting people to see that. So when he said that, I was like, well, I'm on the right track. Keep going. So at this point, that was the expectations I had for that competition was completed at that point. So it was amazing.
On to the next big goals.
Yeah, absolutely. Check that off my to-do list.
Yes. So tell us what's coming up for you. Live streams? Are you going to do more covers? Are you going to singles, EPs, collaborations? What can you tell us about what's to come?
So now that I'm not in the competition anymore, I'm going back into the studio to finish an album that I have coming out. So be on the lookout for that. I'm not going to give you a date.
Okay.
It's going to put a lot of pressure, but I will keep in touch with you, of course.
Yeah.
Let people know. But I go live like 3-4 times a week. 2 hours, 3 hours every time. So really just depends. But I go live all the time. So you'll get updates if you want to see that aspect, just entertainment. Always go to my live. Just check at night. But definitely try to get this album out so that when I have the platform, people start seeing my platform, they'll say, well, what does he have?
Right.
Go music, and we can go from there. But I definitely have an album coming out. I have some collaborations in 2021 as well. Actually, the sweatshirt I'm wearing is one of the guys I'm doing the collaboration with. His name is Local Warbucks, so go check him out. But I have an album coming out, and we will see.
Yeah, we're definitely excited for this album in the chat.
Absolutely.
Yes, love it. What is the best advice you've ever been given?
I think the best advice was be true to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to specifically, I mean, that's broad. I mean, it can be in life, it can be relationships, it can be anything. But
yeah.
Specifically, what we were talking about was music. And being true to myself meant not necessarily compromising what makes you feel good or how you make your music just to fit the standard or to fit what's popular. So if you make music that has meaning, very impactful lyrics, but people don't want to hear that, stick with what you love. You know,
yeah.
Do what you love, and that for me that was an idea of making music that I love and people will follow, as opposed to trying to make music that people love and then them following after that. So staying true to yourself as an artist and just in life. That's what I want people to do. And that kind of leaves the conversation of, well, the question, well, who am I? So now that puts you in the process of learning who you are. Once you learn who you are, then it'll start to come out. Once you put your music out, people will see exactly what you represent, you know? So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think being true to yourself is so important as an artist because, yeah, like people can say, oh, you know, do this song, do that song, but it's like, no, you do what you feel is right because it shines through in a different way.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. What advice would you give to other musicians during the quarantine?
Specifically during quarantine, other than, you know, being true to yourself, that was what I would give. But specifically during quarantine, take time to go through that process of finding out who you are as an artist.
Yeah.
One thing that I learned through quarantine is how impactful music is on social media.
Yeah.
Specifically social media, because that's the only way we can interact at this point, or at least when it first started. So no one could go to concerts, but people were doing concerts on IG Live, Facebook Live, Twitch, other platforms. So take the time that you can't interact with people, you know, face to face, to figure out yourself. And again, this is not just for music, but this is in life. Take this time as a moment to, you know, silence the world, silence the noise, and find out who you are. And then once you do that, the next step is to network. Everyone is on IG Live now. So
yeah, they are.
Just start pressing the follow button at this point. I would venture to say if I didn't follow a lot of people and take that advice, I wouldn't have been on WanWednesday and I wouldn't have gotten as far as I was. So networking is absolutely a must, specifically because we can't go out. So yeah.
Yeah, and it's also important to see what other musicians are doing. Like you said, the guy who does country music, like, okay, so you guys have totally different styles of music, but like, what is he doing on social media? Like, does he post time? Does he go like when he's in the studio? Is he going live? Like, and it's important to see like what other musicians are doing.
Absolutely. I've gotten so many connections just from WanWednesday, but even before that, I've gotten so many connections. I have an interview planned with an artist, producer. He's worked with Chris Brown. He was a drummer for Trey Songz.
Amazing.
So those are two of my favorite artists. That in itself was an honor. So yeah, just the network aspect is so important. So important.
So plug where everybody can find you on social media.
So definitely my Instagram, it's Jerrod Music, J3RROD Music. And if you click on the link in my bio, you can definitely see my music. It'll have my link tree, where I'll have my website, SoundCloud, and it has a link to my music. There, if you click on the link, it'll take you to iTunes, Spotify, whatever streaming service you have for music. So just click on the link in my bio, and it'll pretty much take you wherever you need to go.
Awesome. And how can people watching this right now support you as a musician in your
Honestly, at this point it's for me is just your presence. I mean, being there, and then you sharing.
Yeah.
Just you putting my music in the atmosphere, because I mean, word of mouth is probably one of the best ways of communication. So,
right.
You know, you saying, "Oh, I know this guy," send my lives to them, send my profile that way, and hopefully, in the near future, the world will start to open back up. So we'll start doing shows again, and sometimes the shows there's money involved. So donations are always, I hate asking for money, but in reality, it's a must sometimes. So donations is always welcomed, and yeah, it's very necessary in your music career.
So I know you don't like asking for donations, but I have no problem doing it. So I actually pinned the Cash App below. It's the $ just Jerrod. So please donate, because Jerrod won't tell you to, but I will. I don't mind.
But you know, I do sing for money. So if you go to my IG live pretty much any time in the week, if you donate, you'll definitely get a show. You'll be entertained. So that's my way of feeling a little bit better about asking. So
I love it. So that's all the questions that I have for you this evening, but you're going to perform 2 songs for us.
Yeah. So 2 of these songs, probably the most meaningful songs that I've put out on Spotify and everything.
Yeah.
First one will be Until I'm Gone. I wrote that one. And then the next one will be Unappreciated. So before I sing it, then I'll give a little backstory to the song and what it means. So whenever we sing, then I'll do that.
Yeah. Take it away. It's all you.
Perfect. Okay. So I'm gonna play the guitar. Can't be too loud in my apartment, but this song specifically, I wrote as like a proposal song, or like a wedding song.
Very cool.
And it's just describing the relationship and my significant other at the time. So I'm gonna do that one, and I hope you enjoy it. I don't know if I can stand it, being here without you with me. The way I feel when I'm without you, my life feels incomplete. And every time I called you, you came running to my side. And when the world stops spinning, I'll be yours and you'll be mine. Tell me, how does it feel? Tell me how to stay strong. The only way to make this feel right is to marry me. I'll love you till the day I'm gone. Till the day I'm gone. Only us is what I need, and girl, I swear I'll never leave. No, no, I may trust is what I'll be. That's a promise I will always keep. And every time you called me, I came running to your side. And when the world stops spinning, I'll still be yours and you'll be mine. Won't tell me, how does it feel? Tell me how to stay strong. The only way to make this feel right is to marry me. I'll love you till the day I'm gone. Oh, till the day I'm gone. When it comes, I'll be happy. That day I've been waiting on for so long, and I know we'll be ready to live the life that we both want. Till the day we're gone. Oh, till the day we're gone. Oh, the day we're gone. Yeah. Oh. The only way to make this feel right is to marry me. I will love you till the day I'm gone.
Yay! That was awesome. The chat was blowing up.
Beautiful. I love it. Yeah, that's one of my favorite songs to sing, acoustic or with music, however. But that's, yeah, I love that song.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. And the next one that you have for us?
So this one is called Unappreciated, which is the flip side of the first one. It was written during a time, like I said earlier, you date an artist, you're gonna show up somehow. So this wasn't necessarily about me, but I was actually inspired by one of my friends, and they were going through a relationship issues. And I know people can relate to this often, but this is where people put in more. And I'm really big on reciprocity. So they were putting more into the relationship than they were receiving. So essentially they were feeling unappreciated.
Right.
And then the more I wrote about it, then I finished the song and I let one of my friends hear it at work. They were like, yo, this is amazing. You sure this is about your friend? And I was like, yeah. You know, this was about them. And then I listened to it and I was like, oh, maybe it wasn't. You know, maybe it was half and half. So if you listen to the words, the first verse is kind of, you know, general, and then the second verse really gets into my life specifically. So hope you enjoy this one too. This is another favorite. So let's do it. Hey, I've been eating this loving that you can't really give. I can't explain this feeling that you got me stuck in. I tried being so patient, hoping that you jump in into this lonely boat you got me floating. They say there's plenty fishes out there and other them, but I can't help but stay in this lonely boat that I'm in. Just need a little faith, keep my head up and dive. I only wish I knew just how to swim. I'm feeling unappreciated. I'm trying to tell myself this isn't how it's supposed to end. I'm feeling unappreciated. Hey, I'm feeling unappreciated. I'm trying to tell myself this isn't how it's supposed to end. I'm feeling unappreciated. We're in a game of chess and baby, it's your heart I'm trying to win. I'm feeling unappreciated. I know times get hard, but I can see the light at the tunnel's end. You see my frustration with the lack of communication. Now we're stuck living with all the consequences. We're up and then we're down. Our smiles changes to frowns. You looking at me for love when we're both feeling left out. I can't explain how I feel without making a sound. I only wish you cared to hear me out. You're in and then you're out. You don't feel like going out. I'm living in this jail cell. When you call it a house, you say that I'm your king, but only want me to bow. I'm royalty, but never got my crown. Feeling unappreciated. I try to tell myself this isn't how it's supposed to end. I'm feeling unappreciated. We're in a game of chess and baby, it's your heart I'm trying to win. I'm feeling unappreciated. I know times get hard, but I can see the light at the tunnel's end. You see my frustration with the lack of communication. Now we're stuck living with all the consequences. Hey, oh.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Mona, Delicate, Jonathan, thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. So this is
those are actually, they are my ride or dies. They are always in my life.
Yeah.
And they really follow me and support me. So shout out to them. Thank y'all so much. They are the reason why I do most of what I do. I'll go on IG Live for hours just singing and singing. They're there their whole time. So it's a mixture. I do what I love, and I also do it for them as well. So
definitely. So this is the part of the show. If you have any questions for Jerrod, please feel free to put them in the chat below.
Please do. Please do.
Yes, thank you guys. We see all the claps and the hearts, and thank you guys. This is awesome. We appreciate you being in here. Where do you see your career in 5 years?
Touring.
Yeah.
I don't plan on being just on IG anymore. I plan on touring the world. So, yeah, that's where I'll be.
Awesome.
So
Love
if you're with me now, just wait. I don't, when it comes to like remembering where I come from, that's something I'm really big on. So everyone that's been following me now and supporting me now, it's amazing. So I won't forget it.
Yes, very cool. What instrument would you like to learn next?
I'm currently in the strings, guitar, piano, play the saxophone. People don't know that much, but I want to get into the brass, trumpet, just the brass instruments, and then that'll be a pretty much full band, a true full band.
Yeah, honestly, like you're gonna be playing all these instruments.
Yeah, so I plan on incorporating that. I just have to get a trumpet, so that's where the donations come in. I mean, I purchase equipment, I'll purchase, like ring lights, so you need lighting, all that is important. So with the donations, I'm not gonna just waste it on things, but it definitely, it goes into a good place. So definitely, it's much needed.
Definitely. So guys, donate to the Cash App. It's below, right at the bottom. I for everybody. Where would you like to perform next?
So I'm from Durham, North Carolina. I would love to perform anywhere in North Carolina. Yeah. But somewhere local. I mean, I want to start here and then kind of branch. But if I have the opportunity to perform in anywhere else, then I'm not gonna deny it. But at this point, anywhere in North Carolina, just so people know.
Definitely. Where would you like to travel to post-COVID?
First place, definitely California.
Mm.
Just because I mean, I was talking to a guy the other day. I'm sorry, give me 1 second. I'm sorry.
No worries. It's okay. His dogs just want him. So he's gonna calm his dogs down.
He gets jealous when I
Yes,
start singing, and he wants to sing too.
yes.
So he's very familiar with me jumping around dancing, but he knows what that means. So he just kind of sits quietly and watches. But he knows I'm on live. He just always knows.
He just wants to say hi. That's
He
it.
just wants to entertain as well. So, but definitely California. I was talking to a guy the other day, and he was like, "Yeah, I can see you doing great in California.
Yeah.
You would fit the mold." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm kind of nervous about going because then I may not ever want to come back." So, yeah, definitely California. I plan to go to Vegas soon. I know some great people there, so I plan on going there. And those are my top two currently. Yeah, New York is definitely one of the top three.
Yeah.
The guy that I'm working with, who's Sweatshirt and the collaboration album, Local Warbucks, he lives in New York, so I know a lot of people from New York. So that's probably going to be my first stop. Then second stop is Vegas, and then third stop is California. So
very cool. Well,
I'll be posting very soon in all three of those locations. Hopefully the world opens back up.
Yes. I mean, it's looking good right now, but you never know, right?
Yeah, vaccines are coming out. I got my shot. I get my next one in a couple of weeks. But,
yay!
Yeah, so I'm still gonna wear my mask, wash my hands, do all of that stuff. It's very important.
So important. Like, we all want this to end, so just do what we need to do. Just wear your mask, wash your hands.
Absolutely.
Do the right thing. Like, come on.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, this is when you do these things, it's not only for you, it's for other people as well.
Yeah.
You know, that's the way I think about it. It's more of the selfless act. You may not be sick, you may not show any symptoms, but at the end of the day, there are people that you come in contact with parents that may be sick already, and getting COVID would make things a lot worse, or children, babies. So it's more of just the love and thinking about other people. So
yeah, it's so important because it's like your parents, your children, your friends. Like, there's I have that I didn't even know that they had underlying conditions that they told me, and I was like, oh, I would have never unless you told me. You know what I mean?
Exactly. My grandmother, she's 95 years old.
Wow.
95 years old. And I haven't been able to, I've seen her, but I have to, when I go over there, I have to wear a mask, and I don't even feel comfortable with that sometimes. So I'll stand outside, and she'll come out on the porch, and then we'll talk that way. But, you know, just the simple fact that, you know, I may not have it, but someone else may have had it.
Exactly.
I'm in contact with them. He gets it. So you just have to be considerate, and that's what I'm all about, just consideration of others. So
I think that's so important. Just be considerate. Like, be considerate. There's other people in the world, you know, even if you're cool, that doesn't mean somebody else is.
It's uncomfortable. It's very uncomfortable. Working out is uncomfortable, but at the end of the day, it's necessary, very necessary. So I am pro mask. Just wear a mask. Just wear it.
Just wear it. Just do it. We want this to be over. Everyone wants this to be over.
Absolutely. So once we all get together and decide that we want to do the right thing and wear the mask, the world will open back up.
Definitely. What is one word to describe your next album?
Entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You will definitely be entertained.
Yes, absolutely. That if I can't do anything else, I can definitely entertain you. I know I'm not one of the strongest singers, just because, you know, only because this is relatively new for me. I've been singing. I really didn't go. I don't know how much time we have, but
You have as much time as you want, so it's up to you.
Perfect. So as far as the background, I started singing. Well, let me just go all the way back. So I've been playing drums since I was 2. And then after that was the guitar when I was in high school, and then piano came along.
Yeah.
And I started singing in high school. I did, I had a group. I was in a little small group with a couple of the guys I was in high school with. We called ourselves Harmony 4. Frankie Patterson, Frank Boone, me, myself, and I'm trying to remember the other person, but it slowly went from Harmony 4 to Harmony 3 to Harmony 2 with me and just Frankie Patterson. But we would sing Boyz II Men songs. We'd go around campus singing Boyz II Men. We sang a couple of times in front of people, but we would just sing, go around singing. So it was kind of amazing to see Boyz II Men and then talk to Wanye and know that's where I came from. So we started, that's when I started singing. Now I was doing just background vocals. I had been singing all my life. I grew up listening to Michael Jackson, singing Jackson 5, so dancing around the house. So I've been doing that. But I didn't get serious until, I want to say, my junior year in high school. What I did was I put out a mixtape. I call it a mixtape, but it was just a CD full of covers. So I took some songs, took the instrumental. My dad brought me a computer mic, a USB computer mic, and it came with the software. And once I started doing that, I started recording songs, Chris Brown songs, Drake songs, Maxwell, Pretty Wings, songs like that. Any song that, I loved at the moment. So I put out a little mixtape and burned the CD and gave them out to people. And it was the amount of feedback, positive feedback that I got was surprising to me. I was like, I'm going to just do this. I like this. So they're like, yo, you should really do this. And I was like, maybe not. So I started doing Facebook videos, but I was shy. So I would cover the camera and then just play the instrumental and then sing along. Yeah, so it was really bad. You would see a video. If you were to go to my page, which I don't have it, but if you were to go to my page, you would see like 10, 15 videos of just a black screen. So I would record, put the music to it, and sing. Then I went from, when I got more comfortable, I went from that to singing with shades on. And that was kind of like my way of hiding behind my shades. While still trying to look cool or whatever. So I would sing with shades on. I couldn't sing without shades. It would be uncomfortable. I was really shy. And then from there, I took the shades off, and then I started singing. So I was singing junior, senior year, doing music. I got my first Mac when I went to college. I went to UNC Pembroke. And the very first talent show they had, I was an open mic night. I went to that, and I played on the piano, sang Ordinary People by John Legend. And then I did the one that I said I'll always do. I did With You. And that is where everything started. I started making music, collaborating with people on campus. And then I started making music videos throughout college and just doing covers and posting them on YouTube and all of that. And I had a pretty good following at one point. So I had a couple. I know one of them had 1 million views. I did a Sam Cooke song cover. Gonna Come. So I did that. And ever since then, it's pretty much been up. I cringe at the music I used to make. I listen to it now, and I'm like, oh, man. But
that's where you started. And like
exactly where I started, yeah. So I'm just excited, because I know it from here, it's just constant growth.
And the evolution is so important. Like when you say you had these videos and you covered the camera up, like I'm thinking about that. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then you went to shades. And I mean, now I see your entire face. So it's like evolution, right?
Absolutely. And the more I did it, I would sing on campus all the time, and I would be super nervous. I would just do it. I just kind of, I'm more of the just jump in and you'll learn how to swim type of learner. But now I'm also a little more strategic. I'm learning that. I learned that through the WanWednesday. Be a little more strategic when it comes to certain aspects. So it's a learning process, and I'm just glad I'm getting it earlier.
Yeah.
Than others. You know, some waited till they were later, and some got it at the age of like 5. Michael Jackson started as a child. So I wish I was singing for that long, and but you know, I deal with what the cards I was dealt. So,
but you play like every instrument. It's so amazing. Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah. Like I talk to singer-songwriters all the time, and then I talk to people who just sing. Like they just sing cover songs. They don't songwrite.
Yeah.
I talk to people, and I think the last couple people that I interviewed were all multi-instrumentalists, and I didn't even plan it that way. But I'm like, I love that, like the people I'm talking to literally just like play a bunch of instruments and they sing.
Well, what I've noticed is back in the day, a lot of singers played the piano.
Yeah.
They play. I think Marvin Gaye played the piano. Sam Cooke played the guitar. And then you have people like Stevie Wonder who played multiple instruments.
Right.
So when I was younger, I used to play the harmonica. I would listen to Stevie Wonder. I would play the harmonica.
Yeah.
I always forget. I never bring that up because people are like, oh, let's hear it. I'm like, I haven't played that since I was a kid. But guitar, the inspiration for the guitar was John Mayer.
Yeah.
I started playing piano because of Jamie Foxx. He would always sing and play after his comedy shows, and I loved it. So I started singing and playing the piano from Jamie Foxx. Chris Brown came out 2005, so I started singing, dancing, and just like performing. And I was just a drummer. I was a natural drummer. So my uncle played, my cousins played, so that was just something I took to. Then I started playing for my church. So yeah, that was just a natural thing for me. That was something I just loved. But those are all of my inspirations for my instruments. Saxophone is actually the only one that was taught to me, or I learned that at school. I played saxophone in band. One reason I liked it, and then the other reason, a girl I liked played saxophone, so I wanted to sit in the same section.
I get it.
Yeah, those are the 2 reasons, but the main reason was because I wanted to learn it. But I wanted to play drums, but you know, in middle school, everybody wants to play drums.
Yeah.
I always want to play drums. So drums was taken, but I ended up playing saxophone. So, and the Whip Appeal cover, you'll actually hear me play saxophone. So be on the lookout for that.
Yes, and that cover is coming soon. So guys, if you're ready, please make sure to follow Jerrod, donate to the Cash App. It's listed below. I pinned it. It's been up the entire chat. Do you have any final words for the room?
Enjoy me while I enjoy music.
Yes. Yes, please follow him on his musical journey. Go to the Cash App, go to the link tree. The bio is in Jerrod's Instagram profile. Please support him. He has a lot of good stuff coming up. And guys, if you don't already, please make sure to follow me. I'm Ashley Live. This is Vibin with Ashley Live. And I have incredible musicians just like Jerrod on all the time. So thank you guys for joining us this evening. Jerrod, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on my show and being so honest with us, and just, it was just such a fun time. I had a lot of fun tonight.
It's always, that's my goal. Anytime I do anything, whether you come on live, have an interview, whatever it is, let's just make it fun. Let's have fun doing it.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you said that.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for sharing your evening with us, and have a great night. Stay safe.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Good night.
Goodbye, Izzy.